where money is going, where money is in, how money is actually being channeled within the organization, right? Cash flow is one of the key features of, I think, any accountant would always, want to request that. How is the cash flow for this business? Where is your cash? Where is it directed to? So you want to know if you spend more money on some unnecessary expenses. You just want to see how maybe you have a lot of debt or stuff like that. You want to be able to take account. Business Central is able to manage that, right? So we have fixed assets. We all know what fixed assets is. So I really don't want to take much time, emphasizing a lot of these key processes, because we'll still have a section whereby I'm showing you the screen and you are actually seeing, all of what I'm saying. You might not be able to grab everything one day, for sure. It's not might, except you have already had that foundation already. All right, so sales and marketing, very important feature, right? Sales and marketing for every business. Business Central also has that key features that shows you your customer, how to sell for your customer, when you have discounts, when you have stuff like that, how to establish that through the ERP. All right, and also you can roll out a marketing campaign, right? So with this marketing campaign, you want to integrate Business Central with CRM, and thankfully Microsoft is the owner of CRM and also the owner of Business Central, so the integration is seamless. So when you are looking at purchasing, you want to be able to manage your vendors, you want to manage the POs, the invoices. You are able to do that with the help of the ERP. So inventory warehouse, for any inventory officer here or for anybody aspiring to be an inventory manager, right? You are able to keep track of your item. Item could be a product, and you can also keep track by each location, right? So production, like we said, manufacturing, you are able to manage your bill of material. Is there anybody here that doesn't understand what bill of material is, or that don't have an idea what bill of material is? If there's anybody here, so you can just drop a chat below. Um, if you don't understand what BOM is, bill of material. If you do understand, okay. I maybe strange to them. Oh, okay. So, in the world of production, so let's do it this way. Let's give a good example. I'm a phone manufacturer. I produce phone, and phone is both hardware and software, right? So, bill of material would be for me to make an iPhone 14. What are those things that I need to put in place to make that iPhone 14? I need my hardware, I mean the motherboard itself, that can pass in signal as it is being pressed on the phone. I need a casing to make the phone look take away. I need the software that can actually, allow a minimum user to be able to operate it. So all of those processes that are involved is called bill of material. Let me give you a familiar example. You want to cook jollof rice. I don't know if you cook jollof rice where you are, but if you want to cook jollof rice, all you need is you need a recipe. That recipe that can allow you to achieve cooking jollof rice is called bill of material. In a software way, they call it bill of material. In reality, they call it recipe. So bill of material is just your recipe. What should I mix together to make up this? That's your recipe. That's your bill of material. Now you would see that we also have what we call routine, right? Routine is, what are those steps involved? Will I first of all put the pot on the fire, put some water inside, then I put the spaghetti inside, I wait for 10 minutes, I put some cube of Maggi inside. Do you understand? Those are the routines. And in a manufacturing sector, like maybe people that produce phones like that, maybe it has to go through some, processing, maybe heat, stuff like that, right? So those are the routine. And then we now have something called capacity. Capacity is now how much this can produce, right? So all of these processes are within Business Central. So like I said earlier, projects, right? For those people that manages projects, you want to be on top of the game, right? You want to be able to manage your project well. Business Central gives you that flexibility whereby you are also able to account for things that was bought during the project, things that was bought for that project, people that worked during that project, things that was involved inside that project, your billable, your non-billable. You are able to get those statistics using that project module. Also services, your contracts, your service item, and the rest. So far, if you have any question, you can just drop a message, or you can just come up to ask your question at this point before we move to the Business Central environment. Any question at all? All right, so I'm going to move to the Business Central environment. So usually I'm supposed to take you through the steps that uh, would you would take to to get something like this. But because of the time and everything, right? Just this is the first time of you seeing it. I don't want to stress you too much, right? So this is how Business Central interface looks like, right? We have the company name and we have some, navigation menu. We have an headline that speaks to the current context, yeah, of this particular view, right? So on my right hand side, where we have environment, right? If I should click this, I am able to see other subsidiaries that are currently present in this environment. Now, if I procure a Business Central environment, I should be able to have two sandbox environments and one production. I mean, three sandbox environments and one production environment. Right? Yes. Okay, please go on. Yeah, please, you said subsidiary. Did you mean other companies? Exactly. Because I'm just wondering, you are in your office, you're in your company, you open ERP, Business Central. So why are you able to see other companies on the same platform? I'm seeing company A. Why I am company B? Why was I able to see company B? A very good question. Yeah. A very good one. So is it that anybody can go there and then I can see NTN today, and tomorrow when I get there I can see Airtel. Though I may not have the access to go into their platform. However, I don't think why is it that I'm able to see other companies? Let me just pull it out. All right. So currently we are working with Business Central. Yeah. Right. And I must have had some level of privilege. I'm currently an admin. And if I show you my credential, you will see that I got it. Exactly. You will see that I am an admin. Right. So there is a level of access. If I want you to be able to stay in just one subsidiary, I only give you access to one subsidiary. And for those of you that don't know what subsidiary, like he made a point, subsidiaries is, take for instance Microsoft. Microsoft has other businesses that they also do. Not just that they produce Microsoft as an operating system. They also provide services like Microsoft Office, so many software, right? Skype, teams. They do so many services, and those businesses they also have their own accounting. I can't just combine all of these revenues together. It will mean that I can't manage other businesses, or I don't have a way to manage other businesses, right? But with the help of Business Central now, instead of you implementing another Business Central environment for your other businesses, you are saving yourself cost. If not, maybe I charge you 40 million naira to deploy Business Central for this your business. Imagine that you have to also pay that same amount to deploy for your other businesses. That would be ridiculous, right? So Business Central allows you to have your main company could be your headquarter. It could be even another business entirely, but you can also have other businesses that you have. You can also have them. Look at this is Kronos International Limited. This is by default. The Business Central is going to create this environment for you. This my company now is a company that is also by default. So this one is acting like your company itself, and this is acting like a sandbox for you that you're just testing. So let's just take example that this we actually you can see this one HPL, Kronos, and my company, right? I can have it listed as much as I have. But the beautiful thing is I am able to keep account for each individual businesses. I can know how well they are doing, what they are actually doing. Exactly. So I can just have that idea of how well they are doing. If I'm actually making profit in this business, I know, and I know if I would have to close this business because it is not actually producing enough revenue. So on the top right hand side, like I said, right, you are able to manage your businesses. And if I collapse this, if I want to switch this particular complaint, I just need to click on switch. But if I want to open it on another tab, I need to click on the drop down. Oh shit, I had already clicked on it. My bad. Sorry. So I will have to change back. You already clicked switch. Yeah, I already clicked it by mistake. So we are currently utilizing the cloud-based Business Central. Okay. Okay. So if it was on-prem, right, you would have seen the name, maybe your business URL or your IP address, blah blah blah, right? But as you can see, this one, this is Business Central. All right, so let me just go back and let's use this Chronos, this training. This is the environment I've created for this particular section. So that was that for the complaints, right? And I can also see from here, this is my complaint name, and I can see my master record. So master records are records that are key to all businesses. Which business doesn't keep track of their customer, or doesn't have anything that holds record of their customers? So as vendors, so as their item or services that they provide, so as their bank accounts, so as their chart of accounts. Chart of accounts is a financial book that holds record for individual transaction category. I think that makes sense. I don't know, it makes sense to me because I can have list of accounts. Let me click on this chart of accounts so that you can have an idea. You can see that I have This will be okay for finance people. They understand this very well just by saying it. Yes, please.
Hello, guys. I want to beg you. See, this place we have questions for right now. Be attentive and if you have questions. Interview questions do come from this place. Chart of account, the meaning and what it contains. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Should we download this Business Central app? That's another important question. I've been looking for that curiosity because like I said earlier that I was supposed to show you the process involved before getting there. But because this is one of your first time of having to deal with this environment, if I do that, I only want to stress you. But now that you have asked, I'm going to get there. But let's complete this first, right? So this is chart of accounts. My chart of accounts, I am able to recognize my assets, my liabilities, right? My expenses, my dividends, and my revenue. So I think those are like the five pillars to building a chart of accounts. So like you can see my fixed asset, you can see my tangible land building. So if I have any land building, you will see that this is where they are going to be posted into. So just look at it like a book, a physical book whereby you write those records based on their category. So if I scroll all the way down, you will see inventory. And for inventory, what how many this has to hold transaction that has to do with my inventory or record that has to do with my inventory. You can see resale item that I resold. I can see their net change and their balances here. If I scroll down, you can see whip sales. You can see my account receivable, the sales I have made. Account receivable, I can see the total balance here. I can see for my foreign customers, I can see their balances here. This is the sales I have made for my foreign customers, and this is the amount that I have made so far from it. Now this is net, no deduction has been. We it can mean different things depending. WIP is like work in progress. Yeah, that's is it Palo? Did I pronounce it well? Is that Palo?
Just Paul, no, Paul, no.
Polo.
It's just Paul.
Oh,
My name
okay.
is Paul, but you can
Paul.
say Paulo.
Oh, okay. Paul. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So all of this, right? Um, chart of account is not a day job. Um, you can do your findings about it, right? Even after doing your findings, I can assure you that you won't be able to understand it in a day, right? It has to do with a lot of financial background, right? I'm not trying to scare you, but truly, it has to do with a lot of financial background. If you already have a financial background, then the process of chart of accounts is going to be very much simpler for you. Right. So, but what you should put in the back of your end is that this chart of accounts only holds those accounts that are responsible for their respective transaction. So if I want to check my revenue, I know where to go. If I want to check people that are owing me, I know where to go, what account to go and check. And that is why it is called a chart of accounts.
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Right. So for this chart of accounts or the Business Central platform in general, let's say you've just been newly employed through a company and that company has just newly started as well. All of these items we have here, do they come as a default or it's something that might need you to be involved creating as well?
Okay, that's another important question. So I'm going to answer you in two different ways. The first way I'm going to answer you is for each businesses that wants to implement Business Central, they must have had a partner that they are actually working with. So this partner will be the one responsible for understanding their business process, and from the understanding he will build their chart of accounts based on their business operation. But by default, if you get a Business Central environment, you're always going to have a Chronos environment whereby you have a template of a chart of accounts. Now it's not left for you or the business to look at what they currently have and see if it's something they can work with. Some people have administrative expense, some people just call it expense. Different business, different perspective, different way of them classifying those accounts. I don't know if I answered your question. I think that's Patrick, right?
Yes, you did. My next question is, you did. Sorry, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please shoot.
Yeah, my next question is, out of curiosity, just by the side of all reports, you have about 3, 4 lines in dash and the more options. Are we able to know what we can have under that drop down? I don't know if you know
Do you
where
mean
I'm
yeah?
referring to. Yeah?
Do you mean yeah?
Yeah.
So this one is just more like you want to expand all business features. Like can you see the two box?
Yeah.
Explore all businesses features for my role in Business Central.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I was going to even come to role, but first thing first. So every individual
Mm-hmm.
that are actually using the system, they have their role to play. So depending on that their role, it also depends on what they are able to see. So this current role that we are on is I think a financial accountant. Yeah. So how do I know? I need to go to this my top right. Look at my a moment. Okay, thank you. So I want to click on my settings. So from my settings, you can see that my current role is what? A business manager evaluation profile. So just look at it like a profile. So based on this, I'll be able to see anything that pertains to role. So if I click on this ellipsis, let me go back so that it look like I have done any magic. I've not done any magic. Oh. I only clicked on what? This ellipsis, dot dot dot. And when I click on this, I see the list of current rules that are here. Now, different businesses have additional rules. Now it's left for your partner to create those rules for you. Or you can create that rule if you have that privilege too. So you can see that at the moment we have, if I'm a manufacturer person, I can be given this role, manufacturing management manager, sorry. If I'm a sales agent, you know, you can see the list of roles that are currently available by standard. If I'm an accountant, I am being given this role, an accountant. So if I double on any one of them, the system is going to reload and give me exactly for that particular role. So let's try one. I want to become an accountant. Don't tell anybody. So I click on OK, and you can see that the system reloads because it wants to present my own role so that I can see what is important for me. All right. Now you can see that I have more option as an accountant. Hmm. I should, right? Because I am managing the whole business. I mean, I should be able to have my eyes on everything. I can see my navigation right here, and I can see my key navigations. And if I scroll down, I can see activities. Under my activities section, I have what? Overdue purchase documents. You can see that the system now is helping me as an accountant. I don't need to now say, oh, how many documents do we have? I think we have some. The system already told me that, guy, you have just 13 overdue purchase documents that you need to attend to. I have this and it's also underlying it as red, right? So imagine that I want to give my boss excuse and I tell my boss that it's because of my boss can already see this depending on his own um, profile also. You currently have 13 documents on your, what is he waiting for? Go and attend to it. Do you get? Now, my cash account, it is telling me the total amount of money I currently have, and it's documents. All I just need to do if I want to view them is to click and it takes me to the document. I can see these invoices, the purchase invoices that is overdue for payment. We have owed this vendor enough. Let's pay them their money. Do you understand? And all of these queue, we call this thing queue boxes. These green boxes, we call them queue boxes. And what did they function as? What did they do? Now you can see that payments, 13 payments like we have seen here, overdue purchases. 13 payments is overdue as of today. Purchase invoices next week, nothing. Nothing. We can see unprocessed payments, we have one. Maybe we have started processing the payment, but we didn't complete it. It's telling us, it's giving us an idea what is on our decks as at now so that we can really attend to them. So depending on your profile, you will see what is important or peculiar to you as your individual to the company. I am able to see, because I'm an accountant, I'm able to also see my intercompany. Maybe there's a transaction between my two different businesses. I'm able to see them that, oh, my business A and my business B, this is, this, they had some transactions. Maybe we had to split some money to pay for some services. I can see those intercompany transactions, right? And this is just me logging into my business central application. I am able to see all of this. I can see two tax in queue. If I have any approval that I need to approve, I would have it on my pending approval here. I need to approve this. Or if I have the ones that is pending for others to approve, I can see them here. So basically the home page gives you an overview of your taxes that you ought to do. You can see as an accountant, it gives me an insight. My account, my cash account is telling me this is the balance as of today. This is the balance of my bank. This is the balance. Do you get? I have that overview just on a glance. And the beautiful thing is, for anybody that has used an application called Power BI, you also know how Power BI does. Power BI is just like you want to represent your finances using graphical representation. You can also integrate Power BI with the Business Central, and it gives you that beautiful view. You can see all your revenue account and you can see the strength of their performance. All right, so I'm just going to scroll back up, right? So now let's go into the master record, the main master record. We have the customer, we have the vendor, we have the item. Customer, our customer, vendor, people we buy service from or we buy product from, and um, customer, vendors, and bank accounts. So I want to click on customers. I can either use this action if I have it on my dashboard and click on customer, or if it's not on my dashboard and I have access to customer, I can use the global search on the top right hand side. The top right hand side, I click on this search and then I do what? Search for customer, right? You can see that it gives me different lists, but I have customers, and beside these customers, I have what? A list. So when I click on this, I can see the current customers that I currently have on the system. You can see I just have 2, 3, 4, 5 customers. Now, there are different things I can do from just this list. I can decide that, let's say my customer is 10 million. I don't want them listed this way. I want to change the way they are being viewed. I can just come to the top right hand side, beside my fact box, this one, I can click on it and say I want it to be listed in a list. I can go back there and say I want it in a tile. I can go back here and say I want a tall tile. So you can see the differences. So it doesn't really matter, it's just your preference for view. So I like it being list so that I can have a lot of lists on my view. Now there's a lot of information right here. Like I said, it's not a day journey. But let's see how a customer profile looks like. If I want to view into any customer, if I click outside here, nothing will happen. If I click here, sorry, that's because I double click here. If I click, you can see, wow. So wow, I think this is from the updates, right? So normally you won't be able to like open their profile by clicking anywhere here, except you are clicking on the icon, right, from this view. But this is also a good feature, right? If I double click here, meaning that I can also open the customer profile. So if I maximize this, I maximize this by using this arrow. Now, this is a typical profile for each customer. And what information does it take? The customer ID, which is the number, the customer name, the name of the customer, and any additional information that has to do with the customer, like the address, country, city, personal informations. There is also financial information that needs to be attached to any customer. Financial information would be, if I sell anything to this customer, what account should that transaction be posted into? If you go under this invoicing fast tab, if I click on this, you can see that I have my financial information here. So it means that any rules that applies to invoice, this is how I want to treat them. So don't try to digest everything today, just get the idea. From there, from the idea, you are able to start building up and understand the whole concept. So we have general business posting group. So I'm now saying, if I want to post this transaction, so wait, at first, how can I classify this customer? Is this my domestic customer or is it a foreign customer? If it's a foreign customer, I classify the customer as an EU. And behind the scene, I had already done set up that any customer that is EU, post their transaction to this account. Any customer that is this, post their transaction to this. I classify the customer first. Then you see another one called customer posting group. Now this customer itself, under which posting group does it fall? Remember, this is the business posting group and this is the customer itself. So I have to put all of this financial information there. If not, when I start running transaction, I will start to have some error because the system doesn't know where or how to classify this customer transaction. I'm also going to drop a link to also check the features around all of these mentioned cases. So the system is now saying, how do you want to treat payment for this customer? We should have a payment terms. Now you can see if I click on the drop down, depending on the business, as a business owner, you give your payment term that you offer your customers, and the consultants are going to help you set them up. If this customer fall into 2 days, after 2 days, the customer should pay you. The customer cannot owe you for more than 2 days. So you put your payment terms. So this section deals with your payment tolerance with the customer. Now we have shipping, we have intrastate, we have statistics, right? So they also do what they have spoken about, right? So if I want to do any shipment with this customer, maybe I have a defaulted shipment code. I put the shipment code for the customer. And for shipping advice, let's say anytime the customer requests for an order, maybe he requests for 1,000 order, maybe based on our relationship with the customer, this customer always like me to give half half. So you can also set that rule that okay, oh, on half shipment I am due for payment, right? On complete shipment I am due for payment, depending on your discussion with the customer. So we have many of that, and on the right hand side here, right, we have so many features here. Under the details, remember we have two action buttons here. We have the details, we have the attachments. If I have any additional documents to insert for this customer, right, I can always attach it by clicking here to upload those files. If it's a link, I add the link here. If it's a note, I add the note here. All right. So I go back to the details. This details shows me an overview of the history of this customer. I can see the picture of the customer. If I want to upload, I click on the drop down. Either want to take a live picture or I want to import a picture just to give the customer a picture. If I now scroll down here, you can now see sell to customer sales history. So now what this one tells us here is it shows us all of those transactions that this customer has been involved in. I am able to see the ongoing sales order with this particular customer. I can see that I have 7 ongoing sales order with this customer. I have 2 ongoing sales invoices with this customer. I have done 33 shipments for this customer already. I have done 33 invoices for this customer. So you just imagine that you just came into the customer profile and you can even have all of this information. It gives you an idea of how your business is working with in relation to this customer. If your business is the one delaying some transaction, you are able to see a snapshot of that. But on this right hand side, if I scroll down under my customer statistics, it gives me that overview information. I don't know if anybody have a question, you can always stop to ask your question. Any question?
None for now.
All right. So I think the next question would have been, if I want to create a fresh one, how do I go ahead to create it?
Still trying to digest this platform.
Sorry, I do this when I'm less busy.
Page or view talks about the customer's information, everything we need to know the customer. Yeah. So let me quickly ask a question. Who does this? Is it the data analyst or a consultant that has been appointed to do the setup? Or how do we as a sales analyst, sorry, as data analysts, how do we interact, or what are the major things that we need to do, for example, on this kind of platform, on this kind of, for example, this customer? I know we can extract, but anyway, let me just leave it to answer. I don't know whether you get my question.
Yes, please, can you come again? Hello?
Okay, my question is, who is responsible for the creation of all these? Is it the database administrator that will do the all these? We have different kind of fields here: sales field, payment field, the invoice field, all these different fields that we have here. So, is it a data analyst or is it the data administrator that will do the setup? And when we want to create a fresh customer, who is responsible for that?
All right. Thank you so much. That's also a very important question. Now, different businesses operate different ways, right? So, but in general, it could be a customer representative, it could be a salesperson. I mean, if I'm a sales agent and my duty is to what, bring sales or drive sales into the company or organization, it means that I must have been liaising with customer. I have been having one-on-one conversation with customer, and maybe because of my relationship with the customer, he decides to say, okay, oh, I would like to become a customer in your company, so onboard me. So different businesses might have different processes. I've seen instances whereby we implement for an oil and gas company, and the legal team is the one in charge of creating a new customer because of their own business process. Maybe they have to collect some KYC, some particular documents before they can onboard. Now we leave that one to the business owner to decide who will be given the access to be able to onboard a new customer into the company. Am I able to answer your question? But usually, a salesperson, a sales agent, maybe depending on their level, should be given the access to do that because they have the one-on-one relationship with the customer.
Yeah, okay. But in regards to the question of my colleague, sir,
Okay.
what is the special function of data analyst in this platform?
So, for the question I will just ask back is, what is the function of a data analyst? I think a data analyst should come in check when there is already data from that customer. So data I mean is transaction. You want to analyze based on the customer late payment, or you want to see, is this customer okay to be our customer, stuff like that. So I might have a different view of that. So what's the function of data analyst from your end?
Palito, yeah, let me answer that question.
All right, thank you.
So for instance, right now, Mr. Michael, that's a very nice question. Everything that you said.
Thank you, guys.
You are supposed to
Help me like. I'm sorry, I'm not able to share my screen.
know
I'm currently
how to
having some system
navigate
issue. I would have loved to share my
basic
screen,
platform.
guys.
Now,
Yes. Do help me like.
if you look at this place, if you look at this, you see 1,000 at that top corporation, right? You see that on the top left corner of the visual. Yes. You see that's the customer ID. So can you see there? Can you see this customer report? Can you see customer report? Yes. I need to please let me click on that customer. I need to please that customer. Beside price and discount. Yes. Very good. Now, what do we do in BC as data analyst? I'll show you right now. For instance, if anything on dimension, under that page, yes. Can you see this thing? It means that this item that has been posted for that 10,000 adaptive operation, the area, there should be a place called area in the posting column, and that thing is called customer group. Okay, and the value that the area must always be is 40 at all time. The value that the customer group must always be at all time is medium. Okay, and the value posted is full mandatory and same code, like I told you yesterday. So now let's say that this person now posted this transaction and made a mistake and use something different from what the system asked them to use. So you now go back and correct it. That's what you're doing as data analyst. So let me go back. Let me go back. Right? Let me go back. Let me press the back arrow button. Sorry, is it online? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Apology.
Okay, let me click on the back arrow button. Okay, let me go to the search menu over here. Beside that alert box.
Beside the alert box.
Yeah, beside your profile, that search button, the search button. On top of save.
On top of save.
Yeah.
Do you mean the global search?
Yeah. global here, global search. Thank you. Let me type general ledger. General space ledger. Let's see. General ledger. Yeah, thank you. God bless you. Now, let me not show what we do right now. So, let's say your boss has given you a task, okay, to correct an entry under account number 7190. Here, I get my point right now. So let's say everything under this space is wrong, for instance. So let's say everything is totally not correct. So what we want to change, let's say what we change all that is supposed to be large, small, and medium. Everything should be medium. So let's say that everything is not medium right now. Well, we won't change them to medium. How do you correct that? That's what we do as a data analyst. It is called data quality check. So let me beside the dates.
I can hear you.
So let me click on the three dots beside this date, the three dots beside the dates, that three dots. So how do you check all the items you want to correct? So you click on the three dots, then click on select more. Select more. Click on the first box on top. No, over there. Yeah, very good. Did you see that? It will list everything correct. They now go to correct dimension on top of the selected items. Go up, Palito. You will see correct dimension. Keep going. Keep going.
Do you mean up?
You almost keep going. Yeah, that's it. Click on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Click on it. Too many GL entries. Okay. Let's let like few, maybe like few, sorry.
So sorry, Mr. Kayode.
Okay.
So if you actually want to select more than unlimited, right? I think you can just select a few, and after you click on that dimension correction, you can set the filter from selected.
Yeah, just hold on. Just hold on. So once you click on that thing, start like your and my wonderful guys, it will come to this page. You see the description.
Guys, I have to end the section
Yes, so that general.
now.
Inside that box, you can change whatever that is there. So